Damnation seize my soul if I give you quarters. Edward Blackbeard, Teach, 1716 to 18. In context, location, the Caribbean and East Coast of North America. Theme, piracy. Before 1683, Welsh privateer and later Royal Navy Admiral Sir Henry Morgan becomes famous for attacks on Spanish settlements in the Caribbean. 1689 to 96, Captain William Kidd, a renowned Scottish privateer and pirate hunter, plunders ships and islands in the Caribbean. After 1717 to 18, Barbadian pirate gentleman Stede Bonnet, nicknamed for his past as a wealthy landowner, pillages vessels in the Caribbean. 1718 to 22, Bartholomew Blackbeard Roberts, a Welsh pirate, raids hundreds of ships in the Americas and West Africa. Although far from the most successful pirate, Edward Teach is undoubtedly the most notorious. Originally an English privateer during Queen Anne's War, 1702 to 13, he turned to piracy when the hostilities ceased. In 1716, Blackbeard traveled to the Pirates' Republic of Nassau in the Bahamas. There he met Captain Benjamin Hornigold, who placed him in charge of a sloop. Together, the pair plundered ships in the waters around Cuba, Bermuda, and along the east coast of America. Hornigold and Teach soon encountered the Barbadian pirate gentleman Stede Bonnet, who had been seriously wounded by a Spanish man of war. Half of Bonnet's crew had perished, and the remaining 70 were losing faith in his leadership. The three men joined forces, with Bonnet temporarily ceding command of his sloop, the Revenge, to Blackbeard. Taking charge. During a raid near Martinique in November 1717, Hornigold acquired the 2,200-ton frigate La Concorde de Nantes. Hornigold placed Blackbeard in charge of this prize vessel. Blackbeard renamed it Queen Anne's Revenge. In December, King George I passed the Indemnity Act, which pardoned any pirate who officially renounced his lifestyle. Hornigold, who had been replaced as captain by his and Blackbeard's combined pirate crews after he voted against the decision to attack any ship they wanted, including British ships, took the king's pardon and parted ways with Blackbeard. Eventually, Bonnet's men deserted him, choosing to serve under Blackbeard's command. Blackbeard put a surrogate in charge of the Revenge and kept Bonnet as a guest in his ship. Soon after, Blackbeard sailed to North Carolina, where he blockaded the port of Charleston, capturing 9 ships and ransoming a wealthy merchant and politician. Upon sailing away from Charleston, the Queen Anne's Revenge ran aground. Anchoring their fleet at Topsail Inlet, Bonnet and Blackbeard traveled by land to Bath, North Carolina, in June 1718, where they were granted pardons by Governor Charles Eden. However, while Bonnet remained there, Blackbeard crept back to the fleet, plundered the Revenge and 2 other ships in the fleet, and transferred his goods to the sloop the Adventure. Having violated the terms of his pardon, Blackbeard now had a sizable bounty on his head. On November 22, 1718, 2 Royal Navy sloops commanded by Lieutenant Robert Maynard caught up with the Adventure at Ocracoke Harbor. Let's jump on board and cut him to pieces. Blackbeard. Last stand. Outmaneuvering the Royal Navy ships, Blackbeard lured them onto a sandbar. Rather than escaping, he fired 2 broadside attacks at Maynard's ship. When the smoke cleared, only the lieutenant and a few crew members remained on deck. Blackbeard ordered his band of 23 pirates to board the vessel. As his men clambered onto the ship, 30 armed sailors emerged from below decks. A bloody battle ensued. Maynard and Blackbeard both aimed their flintlock pistols at each other and fired. Blackbeard's shot missed, but Maynard struck Blackbeard in the abdomen. Blackbeard recovered, however, and broke Maynard's sword in 2 with a mighty blow of his cutlass. Before he could capitalize on his brief advantage, though, one of Maynard's men drove a pike into Blackbeard's shoulder. Outnumbered and outgunned, Blackbeard's troops surrendered, but he continued to fight. He finally fell dead after 5 gunshot wounds and 20 sword wounds. Maynard ordered his men to hang Blackbeard's head from the bowsprit. Later, it was mounted on a stake near the Hampton River as a warning to pirates. Legal piracy. Sociologists have long recognized that crime and deviance are situational. Crimes change over time from one location to the next. Piracy is a good example of this phenomenon. In the mid-13th century, Henry III of England started to issue licenses called privateering commissions, which allowed sailors to attack and plunder foreign vessels. After 1295, these licenses were known as letters of marque. Privateers became much more numerous in the 16th to 18th centuries, with some working without royal consent, including Francis Drake, who carried out raids on Spanish shipping. During Queen Anne's War, British privateers regularly plundered French and Spanish ships. However, when the hostilities between the nations ended, these same professional plunderers suddenly found themselves on the other side of the law. Clearly, what is considered criminal depends on shifting social structures, which are in turn dictated by larger political economic realities.